To a cloudy start this morning over the Ross Island Bridge. We're here in downtown Portland for the Bite of Oregon here on Waterfront Park. It opens at 11 o'clock, so we're here a little early for the setup. Very comfortable out here. You can see them in short sleeves, and yes, the sun is out just barely peeking through all of those clouds. We will see improving conditions as we move through the early morning, but we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll talk about that in just a minute. First, the temperatures across the state. Right now in Portland, we're looking at 66 degrees. It's 72 in the Dalles, 67 down in Burns, and we did see a few showers and thunderstorms rolling through during the evening hours yesterday on the radar. You can see the motion of that moving generally from the south to the north. There you go. You can see those storms moving through central and southern Oregon. And yes, maybe a little bit of rain as we approach the Oregon-Washington border. We will see the chance for a few thunderstorms popping up as well. We have this huge system sitting out in the Pacific, and it's not going to affect us directly. Let's say that 3 times fast. All right, moisture is coming up from the south. That system is directing that moisture our way, so it will feel a little more humid today, and yes, the clouds in the forecast. And we do have the chance for some thunderstorms popping up as well. So we are going to be watching that once again for this afternoon. I think the best chance for those thunderstorms popping up as we move into Bend, as we move into southern Oregon. Yes, those thunderstorms certainly moving into play, but as we head through the remainder of the day, those thunderstorms will start to push toward Portland, toward Eugene, and yes, into Salem and Bend as well. LeGrand included. Hermiston, you are not out of the picture either for the thunderstorm risk this afternoon. So with that said, the place to be is out on the coast. Temperatures nice and comfortable out there. We're going to see temperatures in the 70s as we head into the afternoon hours. It'll be 68, I think, in Astoria, if we can get to that map. There we go, 70 in Tillamook and into Government Camp. Yes, thunderstorms there as well. Heading down into the gorge, we're looking at a fairly warm day once again, but remember, the Dalles has been in triple-digit heat. Now we're back into the 90s. Thank goodness, right? Out on the east side, we're looking at temperatures. Yes, we have a 100-degree reading, and that is in LeGrand. The rest of the locations into the 90s, and the thunderstorms popping up during the afternoon there. Here in the Portland Metro, we're looking at the continuing blue skies. I think we will break out of all of these clouds through the morning hours, and it should be a fairly nice day. Temperatures in the upper 80s. It will feel more humid today as compared to the rest of the last couple of days. As we head into your 7-day forecast, a quick look at your weekend. Again, the Bite of Oregon going on downtown. We also have the air show this morning. That starts at 11:30 in Hillsboro. The rest of the weekend looking fairly comfortable for Sunday into the low 80s. Monday, Tuesday, pretty good, and then we warm it up as we head toward Thursday, back up into the 90s. Friday looking pretty good as well. So overall, I think we'll see these clouds sort of lessen through the morning hours, and then we do have that chance for a few thunderstorms coming up during the afternoon. So that is what we will be watching for, especially over in eastern Oregon, where those thunderstorms could be dry, could be sparking off a few fires with the lightning there. So again, we'll keep a check on that. And yes, here at the Bite of Oregon, I think things will look very nice today. It is open today from 11 in the morning until, yes, 11 o'clock tonight. And then on Sunday, 11 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock. And the donations, they're just asking for donations of $5, and that benefits the Special Olympics. So that is certainly a good reason to come down here and just enjoy all this food. Right, Kim?
Absolutely, Christy. I was down there late yesterday afternoon. It was considerably hot, but it was a lot of fun, lots of great food. In fact, a lot of restaurants offering up big bites at reasonable prices of their best things. And the thing that's fun about the Bite, you can sample a lot of things and find out what a lot of restaurants are all about that perhaps you haven't had a chance to experience before. There are restaurants from the coast all over the state, as you showed us earlier.
The really cool thing here is that it's broken up into 6 different regions. So it's broken up into the coast, into the valley, and there are samples of different foods that, or plants and fruits and vegetables that come from those regions. So you get a really good feel of where things come from around the state, and that is really what it's all about. Over 50 restaurants here that you can check out, 30 different wineries. So you have a lot of eating to do if you're going to come down here and just enjoy.
And also some great music. They will have bands playing throughout the day. Yes.
Yeah,
so
on 5 different stages.
Hey, if you're looking for something to do, what could be better?
Yeah, sounds great. Well, right now we have Steve Varga. He is with ProGrass joining us, and we're going to talk a little bit about the garden since we are in the garden hour. We're talking a little bit about the yards today. Yards generally not quite as large as what they used to be,
No,
so the plants need to kind of be scaled to that as well. And a lot of people, I don't think about that as they're planting things.
No, they don't. You know, the plants that we have here to look at today are plants that are all grown here in Oregon.
Yes.
Oregon is a very large producer of nursery plants, a lot of selection, and you know, you just need to keep in mind of what's going to happen down the line.
And what better to grow than Oregon plants? They're actually specific for this climate.
They're grown here, right here
yes,
in Oregon.
it should be much easier to take care of these as opposed to other plants.
Exactly.
What is this first one? Beautiful flowers.
This is called Lily of the Nile. It's a plant that will die back typically in the winter, but it has beautiful flowers during the summer when a lot of other things aren't blooming. Right now, it's kind of heading down the cycle. It's almost done.
So generally, maybe a June to August.
Yeah,
bloom.
June to August. You know, it'll bloom. There's also white flowers on the same variety.
Do these get much bigger, or is this
No,
full
they don't.
grown?
The plant, it tends to stay small. The flower spikes come up high above it, and it's a good plant to put in the front of your planting, so you can see it as an edge.
Okay, now that looks like a great plant. What about watering?
Watering, it's pretty drought tolerant. It does need water pretty consistently, but it'll put up the heat, and if you can't get it watered, you know, regularly, it'll be okay.
Okay, now we're gonna go back into the back of the yard, right? This is really what people don't think about, and we were just talking earlier about my yard and how someone planted a tree that probably looked great at this height right next to the house, but as it matured, we all know that you have problems with trees next to the house. So
you need to think about the mature size and also the width. You know, in a small landscape, even a larger yard, deciduous plants, vine maples are very good because they grow upright, but deciduous plants in general are more prunable, and they can be kept more narrow and away from things. When you start to get into conifers and evergreens, you can't trim them as much, and they get very wide.
yeah, and they'll just swallow a very small yard too. It really takes up a lot of space when you have those kinds of things. So something else to think about. Beautiful color in the leaves.
Good fall color, and it's got a good screening effect if you want to block out a view behind your house, another house behind you.
Produces a lot of shade too.
Well, not so much shade, it's more of a screen. It tends to grow more upright.
Okay, all right, and then we have what you say is one of the better things that is grown here in Oregon.
Well, this is an Oregon grape. It's actually a native plant of Oregon. It's a fairly coarse texture, but it's a good thing to add now and then. It gets yellow flowers in the spring, purple berries in the fall. This one's too young to have the berries yet, but it's a good plant for
So this
animals.
is something good for the fall foliage. A lot of people don't think about planting things that bloom in the fall that will give you a little bit of color. Okay.
Exactly.
And this actually is very soft, even though it looks very
spiky. It's not as sharp as it was, as it looks. This oak leaf hydrangea is a really good one too, because this one bloomed for quite a bit of time. It's a very natural, nice, soft-looking plant, and hydrangeas in general have good color.
Very good texture on the leaves too. I like that.
And you know, this is again almost done with the blooming cycle.
Okay, and then our pine.
The pine, the variegated pine, this is one of my favorites.
This is beautiful.
They have variegated foliage. This is going to stay like this all the time, and as it grows, it develops even more striping to it, and it's really striking.
How tall does this get?
Well, this will get big. This is one of those plants that you want to put away from your house, out away from things, so it can get. This could get 50 or 60 feet tall and 20 or 30 feet wide.
Okay, so something to keep in mind whenever you are planting things, and we'll come back. We'll have a complete look at your 7-day forecast and more from the Bite of Oregon in just a few minutes. Kim, back to you.
Christy, thanks. Seeing those fall leaves on that tree reminds us all that fall is just around the corner. But if
really
you,
is.
But if you have hostas in your garden, they may be taking a beating with all the hot weather that we have been having and that will continue for the next few weeks. Mallory Gwynn, our garden guy, says, though, don't worry because these perennials can take that heat and bounce back for more.
If you're looking to add some beautiful plants to your garden this year, why not consider hostas? And when it comes to hostas, we thought we'd visit one of the best gardens, Seabright Gardens, right here in Brooks, I think.
Yes.
Or somewhere around Brooks.
Between Brooks and Salem.
Exactly, and this is, we're here with Thomas Johnson. Thomas, thanks, man, for being on the show with us today. And really, your gardens here are a magnificent display of hostas, I just got to tell you.
Thank you,
You've got
Mallory.
a beautiful garden.
Thank you.
But hostas come with some issues, and we want to talk about kind of the care and the feeding and all of that. So let's take a look at this guy right down here. In fact, name this guy and just talk about some of the issues that we got going on.
This is a variety called Wolverine, and it gets sun here in a spot here till about 1 o'clock. There's probably a little bit more sun than it would like to get.
I see.
And this here is some burn from the 100-degree weather that we had recently.
Okay.
And what you can do with that is you can trim the burn off with a knife like this, or you can remove the whole leaf if you
Just the
want.
whole leaf.
Yeah, and it won't hurt the plant at all.
Okay, I was going to ask, so the plant really doesn't get hurt with sunburn?
No, it doesn't. It makes it look unsightly, but it really does not hurt the plant itself. It actually forces it to increase a little bit heavier. Yes.
Now, are there hostas that tolerate the sun a little bit better than?
Yes, there's a lot of varieties that will tolerate the sun a lot more than others. For some reason, the fragrant varieties tolerate sun a lot better. A lot of the golds will tolerate sun pretty good.
Which is a little bit different, because sometimes gold really doesn't tolerate as well. So
right,
in this case,
right. It has to do with the thickness of the leaf a little bit too.
Right.
When you're checking your plants, when you're picking out your plants, if you feel the leaf, and if it's got a heavier substance to it, it's generally tougher for slugs, more slug-proof,
right.
and it's also probably more sun-tolerant.
Right. How many different varieties do you have here at Seabright?
We're growing about 500 varieties. We offer about 350 for sale.
Really?
So.
And you've got them all the way from little tiny, like Pandora's box. I noticed that
Yeah,
one.
anywhere from little ones, 4 to 6 inches high for rock gardens to giant hostas that, maybe 5 feet across. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when it comes to hostas, and we're looking at this one, what was the name of this one?
This Blue Angel.
Blue Angel. Now, you said that's been in the ground for about 3 years?
About 3 years, yes. And that's a giant hosta, and about 2 more years it'll reach its maturity. It'll get bigger yet. So yeah, it takes hostas 3 to 5 years to really reach their maturity.
Right. So one of the things when people are planning for hostas in their gardens, they just have to understand that they're going to get, it takes that long to mature.
Right.
And so it's a matter of knowing your hosta.
Right. The first year, all your hosta is basically going to be doing is establishing its root system, and then each year after that, it's going to get fuller and bigger. The leaves are going to get bigger. The clump's going to get wider and taller. And depending on variety, whether it's a small hosta or a giant hosta, when it reaches maturity, it could be, like I say, it could form a clump like this, or it could form
just a big, huge display of it. Okay, a couple of things. When it comes to fertilization, what do you recommend?
When the hostas are first coming out of the ground in the spring, when you see the little, I call them look like little pencil points coming through the ground, I like to take a slow release Osmocote type fertilizer and just sprinkle it about 2 or 3 inches out from the crown all the way around it, just a light.
And you just do that once in the year?
I've just done that once in a year, and I've had really good luck.
Okay. Water requirements for them?
They like optimum. They like about 2 inches of water a week to make them look their absolute best. Hostas are very drought tolerant. They don't require that much water, but that will give you the fullest, best looking hostas.
Okay. Thomas, if people want to come up and check out your gardens, and by the way, I'd highly recommend that you come up and check out Seabright Gardens. They are magnificent, by the way. But if they want to come up and see this garden, you're open on the weekends?
Yeah, we're open on Saturdays from 10 to 5 and Sundays noon to 5.
Okay, very good. And just and we got a phone number up on the screen, so you can check that out. Give them a call. And Thomas, thanks for inviting us to your garden. And I just highly recommend you come out here and check it out. And you've got, again, 300 different varieties for sale, so won't be disappointed in how many hostas you have to choose from. Thomas, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming
with us.
Yes.
The display garden there is something to see. We will have the address for you of Seabright Gardens on our website. Just go to kptv.com, click on the Good Day Lifestyle link, and click on gardening. Seabright Gardens is pretty close to town, about 40 minutes from downtown Portland. Another great thing to do on a Saturday afternoon if you're out driving around. Well, still to come in this half hour, grab your grass skirt and a Hawaiian shirt because we are taking your garden to the tropics. Look at those leaves. And in about 8 minutes, we're going to show you how to stop these suckers in their tracks. It is 8:38. You just have time to grab some coffee and come right back.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away.